Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith announced a federal grant to survey and repair damage done by severe storms last June. Those heavy rains caused flooding and damage to road infrastructure in 42 counties across the state, including notably the Rapidan Dam just south of Mankato. Erosion around the supports of the nearby County Road 9 bridge led county officials to decide to remove and replace the bridge due to safety concerns. Construction on that is expected to begin sometime next year. The $5 million grant comes from the Federal Highway Administration's Emergency Relief Program, which helps communities repair roads damaged by natural disasters. Back in August, Blue Earth County officials voted to remove the dam. That is a process that likely will not be completed until sometime in 2028 or later.